Welcome to our Ask the Expert webinar about PAC 2026 and the new AI check set, how AI simplifies manual PDF accessibility checking in PAC 2026. Our experts today are Patrick Foster, Senior Software Developer of PAC, and Regina Paul, PDF Accessibility Specialist. Both are working at Access4. Welcome, Patrick. Welcome, Regina. Great to have you in the session.
Hi,
My name is,
everyone.
yeah.
Hello.
My name is Markus Erle. I'm co-founder and CEO of Access4. I'm a document accessibility consultant, and I'm the chair of the international working group developing the techniques for accessible PDF. And let's have a look at the agenda. What to expect today. Here's today's agenda. First, I will make a short intro with 4 key questions. When is a PDF considered accessible? What makes PDF accessible? Why are checks essential? And the comparison between machine checks versus human checks. This is important so that you get the point about our AI model, the new AI model in PAC 2026. And after my introduction, Patrick will take over and will make a hands-on session about the new AI tab in PAC 2026. And then you have the opportunity to ask your questions and our experts will answer them. Finally, we will have a closing part with links and additional tips. So yeah, let's start. When is a PDF accessible? To answer this question, we need to look at the laws and standards behind digital accessibility. That's kind of the fun part of all this. Some of you may already know these. For everyone else, I will briefly explain the essentials. And documents often play a secondary role in digital accessibility, even though they contain important information. Think of invoices, manuals, or instructions. And that's why accessibility expert Klaus-Peter Wecke, head of the Siemens Accessibility Center, highlights their importance. I'm coming to him a little bit later on. But first, let's have a look on the legal side. You know, the European Accessibility Act, big topic in the digital accessibility space this year. It's applicable to parts of the private sector. We have the Web Accessibility Directive here in Europe. This is for the public sector, and both are referencing to a European norm. This is 301/549, Chapter 10 about documents. This is the legal side of document accessibility, at least in Europe. You know more about your national or regional requirements for documents. And here is the quote. We call him Mr. Norm, Klaus-Peter Wecke, because he's really sitting in all these working groups, national and European ones, and working out the standards. And he says it only makes sense if all documents are included from the initiation of a purchase to after sales. At this point, it does not help if lawyers deal with which documents fall under the EAA, the European Accessibility Act. So I love this quote because this really emphasizes the complete customer journeys, and we have a lot of documents during this customer journey that have to be accessible. Let's jump to the standards. Which standards regulate what an accessible PDF must fulfill? And we have on the one side the format independent requirements. They are covered by WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.2, the current version. And we have, on the other hand, PDF UA1. This is the special ISO standard for accessible PDFs, covering PDF-specific aspects. And you see our mountain graphic. that shows the idea. The path to accessibility is going through PDF UA, WCAG, accessibility aspects, and only then you can reach the peak of accessibility, a real accessible user experience for PDF documents. Maybe you have heard of PDF UA2 already. It's out for several years right now, but it has not yet been widely adopted. So for testing current PDF accessibility, it's really important to do it based on PDF UA1 so far. What makes a PDF accessible? To understand this, let's take a small step back. I have an average stylized sheet PDF document with a heading with outline level 1, a list with 3 list items, a link, an active link, an image, and a caption. And it's good to know PDF was originally created for visual consistency. Everyone should see the exact same document, no matter what device or printer they use. So it was created for the human eye. Everybody should see the same. It was created for printers. Every printer should print the same document, the same looking document. But there is a third aspect, and this is software. At the beginning, PDF was not machine readable. It was not capable to be used by software, for example, by assistive technology, or nowadays by AI, or by software doing reworking a PDF document for reuse, for example, to convert it into other formats like HTML and so on. So let's have a closer look at this stylized document with the heading level 1, the list with 3 items, the active link, image, and caption. This is usable for every human who is visually orientated, but for all the others, if you don't see, and if you're using a screen reader, or if you are a low vision user, you need additional information about the structure of your document, about the roles of all these information pieces, and they are called tags in the PDF world. And so what is important to know? For an accessible PDF, you need this invisible structure layer, structure tree with heading level 1. You see in H1 here, the list with 3 items, the active link, image with alternative text, and the caption. If you have this, then your document is machine readable. What is essential is this invisible structure tree and the visible document page. They should match. So this is really crucial, and it is called something like appropriate semantics, correct tags if they match, and this is covered by WCAG, success criteria 131, or in the European norm 301549, it's 10131. So keep in mind, appropriate semantics are the backbone for accessible PDF documents. Invisible information should match with the visible ones. This makes equal access. You can read this requirement in Article 9 of the UN CRPD. This is about accessibility in Article 9, equal access. So if you have these tags, your document is capable of speaking, for example, for a screen reader and so on. So why are tags essential for accessible PDFs? Let me tell you a short story. Last week, I had dinner at a restaurant. It was a Swiss restaurant. You see here, it's a special Swiss style caramel pudding. And I visited this restaurant for the first time. After enjoying the food and the drinks, I needed a quick break and looked to the restroom. I searched for signs, symbols that tell me which door leads to the right place. These signs work like tags. They tell you the function of a room. And trust me, you don't want to walk into the kitchen by mistake. Unfortunately, it has happened to me. So it's really important to have the right tags, the right signs, because the same applies to PDFs. User must be able to rely on tags to find the right content, to find the right room. A PDF without tags is like a building full of rooms without any labels. Everything looks normal at first glance, but no one knows where anything is. And now the PDF accessibility testing is coming into play. And we separate machine checks from human checks. At a first glance, you cannot recognize if a PDF is accessible because it's hidden in the inside. And for this, to judge if the inside of a PDF is really offering all the accessibility features, the testing scheme for PDF accessibility was worked out. It is called Matterhorn protocol. And you see here part of this Matterhorn protocol. Maybe you know it already. You are all experts as well, like the Paul has told me at the beginning. And in this testing scheme, you separate between human checks and machine checks. Machine checks, for example, 01, 003. You see this M, this means it's machine checkable. And machine checkable failure conditions, there is an easy answer. It's 0 or 1, right or wrong. This is machine checkable. But then we have failure conditions like 01, 006. They have to be executed by a human because human can deal with not so clear requirements. You know, a typical human answer is, it depends. Is this tag correct? It depends. And a lot of context is necessary for this. And 01, 006 is the failure condition for appropriate semantics in the Matterhorn protocol. And you, until now, you need to check it by a human. There's no machine that can answer the questions, are the tags appropriate or not? So let's have a look at the previous version of PAC 2024 so far. We have 3 check sets, you know it. PDF UA, only the machine checkable requirements, WCAG, the machine checkable requirements, and quality check set. These are heuristics for faster error detection in human checks. And what you should keep in mind, machine checks cannot provide a final assessment of accessibility. This is important. So you see this summary report on the right side. You see a lot of green check marks. All check marks are green. This doesn't mean that your PDF accessibility is accessible. You need to do the human checks as well. And how can you do this? Maybe you know it already, or at least half of you are knowing it already. The screen reader preview in PAC shows you nicely colored your tags, the heading 1, the list container with the 3 list items, and so on. Or you can have a detailed view in PAC in the logical structure view. For example, here, the second LI tag is highlighted, and in the document, the second list item is highlighted, so you can check, is it matching or not? Is it matching or not? That's exactly where the new AI tab is coming into play. And now Patrick is showing us how it is working and how this new AI check set is capable of doing this matching check.
Thank you for all that information, Marcus. Yes, I will take over the screen for now. I hope you can all see the screen now. So here I have a Word document that is the lyrics of a very funny song that has to do with PDF accessibility, done to the melody of I Just Can't Get Enough. There's probably a video kicking around of this somewhere if you're curious enough, but anyway, we can see there are some very clear headings, more headings, there are some paragraphs, headings, and it generally switches between paragraphs and headings. So let's export this to PDF. I will save as, PDF, save. And I will open this up with the previous version of PAC. And let's see. Okay, 3 red crosses. That's because I used Word's default export. Let's use the Access Word export. I'll add a title of Just Can't Tag Enough. Okay. So let's open up that newly exported PDF, and great. We have 3 green check marks. Completely accessible, right? No, remember, like Marcus was talking about, for example, with 01006, the failure condition of Matterhorn, which is a human checkable check, let's check if the tags are semantically appropriate. And so let's take exactly the step Marcus suggested and use the screen reader preview. And we can immediately see that this does not look great. Visually, it was very clear that these are headings, but we can see there's only one heading here as verse 1 and a bunch of P's. Now, that's my fault. In the Word document, if you have a look here, we have this is listed as an H1, but then we have all of these other ones that are masquerading as H1s, but really the style is a P. And so that is where the new PAC comes into play with the AI checks. Wait for it to start up. And I will open up the document. We see we have 3 green check marks, but importantly, in the 4th new AI tab, there is a failure. Now, there are 3 of these checkpoints. Before I get into those 2 in depth, let's just have a look at what the AI has detected. And so we can see a structural element is tagged as P, but the AI assisted check identified it as H. And so we can see it's identified all of these fake headings that are tagged as Ps as being incorrect. And now we see there are some that have failed and some that have warned. So the way that the AI in PAC works is it analyzes each of these tags and gives us a confidence level back. This is a value from 0 to 1, where 0 is it has no belief at all, and 1 is the AI is absolutely completely convinced. And so in this case, we see that the AI is 88% sure that this outro, which is tagged as a P, should actually be tagged as an H. And now here with these warnings, we see the confidence level is slightly lower with 75%, 78%. Now, in PAC, anything when the AI believes 80% or over, we treat this as a failure. Anything below 80%, we treat as a warning. And I believe from 75%, we no longer treat this as a warning, as you've probably done something correct. But I'll give you a quick overview of what each of these 3 new checks are actually checking. So the first one that we saw the error in, this is very clear. Is the tag that is present in the document semantically appropriate? And so this directly corresponds to this Matterhorn criteria of 01006 semantically appropriate tags. And as we saw, we had P's that the AI thought should have been H's, and so we have failures. The second checkpoint, which is labeled unrecognized structural elements, this happens when a tag exists, but the AI believes there should not be a tag there. This could happen if you've tagged something that should normally be artifacted, or for any number of other reasons. And finally, the last part is missing structural elements. This is when no tags exist in the document in a location, but the AI believes a tag should exist. And so we have these three different cases that allow you to look at the PDF from three different point of views. The first one, the semantic meaning of the tags, and the other two about the presence or lack thereof of a structure element. Now, when users see AI or they see a product using some what seems like advanced technology, there's the assumption, and rightfully so, that we must be sending this data up into the cloud or onto our servers, processing it there and sending the result back. But that's not the case. We embed the AI directly in PAC, we deliver it with PAC, and so your PDFs and data stay on your local system. We don't send anything away from your computer, and furthermore, you can use PAC completely offline. And so, Marcus, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. So, isn't this a great message? The AI checkset is now your new colleague, your code checker. It will not replace you, but it will help and assist you in doing the manual checking, and it will not be always right, but it will help you in work faster and produce better results. So better usable PDF documents, accessible PDF documents with the right signs so that you really reach the gents' bathroom and not the kitchen. We have some links and tips for you. And Regina will post the links in the chat as well. You will get this presentation as well as an accessible PDF for sure. And we have mentioned Access Sense. With PAC, you can check one file after the other. With Access Sense, you can check a lot of files at once. You can integrate Access Sense as a software module in your workflows, in your software, and so on. And we have a tool for creating a lot of accessible PDFs, template-based for high-volume workflows, transactional documents, and all this as well. This is called Access Flip. We have a link here as well. You can check out Access Word or Access Lite. They are fully featured, but with a watermark in the PDF, so you can check out all the features. I have already mentioned the funding for PAC by the Federal Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. You can check out PAC, but I have seen you are already using it. Nearly everybody attending the session. That's great. You can subscribe to an PAC update info so that you always get a message if a new version is released. I mentioned the Access 4-Day, end of March. This is the most important event of the year, at least for everything in the German-speaking area. Unfortunately, it's only in German, but if we have so many users in the English-speaking parts of the world, we think about doing Access 4-Day in English as well. So yeah, use our software, and then we will have an Access 4-Day in English as well. Keep using it. We have an introductional webinar about PAC 2026 in January, 14th of January. There's a link. Regina is posting it. And if you are interested in Access Flip, contact us or attend next week an online seminar, a webinar about Access Flip, the automated creation of accessible PDF template-based. It's in German only, but maybe the recording is is doing a good job for you with English subtitles, something like this, write us and we can make this available for you. And we have celebrated 10 years of Access 4 this year. And we want to celebrate with you with special discounts for our desktop software. Only you attending this webinar are getting these discounts. And this is valid until the end of this year. And you get for 1 year subscriptions of our desktop software 35% discount. And for the 2-year subscription, even 50%. Regina is posting this in the chat. We will sum this up in an email and for you as well. So if you don't, if you haven't copied it out, the codes, you can use this in our online shop. So far, check it out, our software and so on. You have more information on our website, on the Access 4 website, as well as on the PDF Accessibility Checker website. Yeah, that's it so far from our side. Thank you for attending. Great to see you in one of our following sessions as well. And keep creating accessible PDFs and have a great rest of the week.